Hey boys and girls, it's when I feel like at o'clock again. And I have been listening to, from reading my letters, I've come to the conclusion, well, you have very much expressed a large interest in me dressing a little more appropriate. So I am. This is all I got though. I'm pretty much going to be dressed like this all the time. I'll be able to buy more clothes if you go to my YouTube site where it says, where it is Steve Duncan's NHL Pearls of Wisdom. You can search engine that and you will find it there. And like my videos if you do like them. Actually, like them if you don't like them. That'd be fine with me too. Really? Since you're watching this, you might actually like it. If it's the first time watching it and you don't like it, well, I apologize. The other thing you can do is go to my Twitter account, which is Steve's POW, Steve's Pearls of Wisdom. Yeah. Steve's NHL Pearls of Wisdom. I don't even know my own Twitter account already. This is how much I prepare for these videos. I just did a series on every team. Now I think I'm just going to do random stuff until another series comes up in my head. And one thing we've been talking about is the greatest goalies of all time. It's on my Facebook account. And I find that to be a very interesting topic. Honestly, who do I think is the best goaltender of all time? Personally, I say Dominik Hasek, but I have to admit there's a lot of bias to that. It also depends on what are the parameters that you're saying. I mean, Patrick Waugh had longevity, and he won cups with teams that didn't deserve to win the cup. His first one in particular, they didn't have the talent to win the cup. Basically, I say that one of the criteria that you should have to be called the best goaltender of all time is that you have, or it's a very good way of looking at it. Let's put it that way. You don't have to have this, but I think it certainly highlights your career quite a bit. If you have taken a team that pretty obviously shouldn't even have maybe even made the playoffs and made it to the finals or won a cup or something like that. I'm not one that's the be all end all. You have to win a cup. That's a team thing. You're looking at an individual accomplishments. You have to look at what the individual did for their team, I think, more often. I think. This is what I think. And you guys can chime in on what you feel it should be the best. A lot of people feel that cups are all that matter. You won the cups, that's what's the important thing. And if you didn't win the cups, then you can't be included. And I can see your argument for that. I just happen to disagree. The reason why I take Dominik Hasek is because when he took Buffalo to the finals, that team, his best forward, from what I remember, was Stu Barnes. And the best defenseman, I think, was Schmelik and McKee. I mean, yeah, if you guys don't know who they are, I don't blame you. And if you do know who they are, then you're going, really? Yeah, really. It was a poor team. It was a team that really probably shouldn't even have made the playoffs. And not even, I don't even know if they should have made the playoffs by a fairly long shot, actually. He dominated that year and took Dallas to 6, who had an awesome goaltender in Belfour and an awesome team altogether. Hall, Modano. I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I would have had to prepare for that. But the reason why I take Hasek is because of that. I have never seen a goaltender stop pucks like him. Not just that year, but even when he won the cup in Detroit, and he won cups as well. He went to Detroit, and those Detroit teams were really good. So, and he was older at that time. He wasn't at his peak, but he still played as good, I think, as any goaltender in the league at that time. And still won the cups too. I just never saw a goaltender stop pucks that consistently, that well, almost it. It's weird because he had this awkward style, but seemed so effortless in the style. It was crazy, and I think a lot of that has to do with some of these choices we make is just personal bias. Dominic Hasek had that style, and maybe I have that type of personality, likes to do things outside of the box, and I just like him. And that probably has a lot to do with why I think he's the best as well. When you're looking at between Brodeur and Waugh, and even with Hasek, you are really taking, as far as talent is concerned, you're really splitting hairs. These guys were all amazing, and add whatever adjective you want. It's incredible. To try to say the one skill level is greater than the other skill level, to me, is like so difficult to do. People who pick Patrick Waugh, first of all, are quite often Montreal fans or Avs fans, or just were so impressed by his dominance every day. And some people just like his cocky attitude. They like that about him. And then there's others that didn't like it at all. They hated it. There was a time when I hated it. And I think that's part of the reason why I don't say Patrick Waugh. I have to be honest. Martin Brodeur was much more humble. He was much more unassuming, and he took some great New Jersey teams to the finals and won cups with them. I don't think that he really took a team that didn't have a team to win the cup to the finals necessarily, though. Maybe. You could look at it that way. The one year, though, when Claude Lemieux scored 12 goals or whatever it was that he scored, they didn't really have a lot of offense. But he also was in a time when the New Jersey Devils were the best defensive team in the league. And he was definitely a reason why. So it's hard to judge. Would Brodeur have done what Patrick Waugh did on those Montreal teams? Would Brodeur have done what Hasek did for Buffalo at that time? Obviously, by me taking Hasek, I think maybe he wouldn't have been quite as good as Hasek at that time. And I even think Patrick Waugh maybe not have been able to do what Hasek did on that year. But Patrick Waugh did it so consistently, and so did Martin Brodeur. And for that reason, I can understand why a lot of people would pick those guys. Then you bring in a guy like Terry Sawchuk, and I guess we don't have too many older guys on the site that I'm on because nobody picked him. But if you ask older guys, they will say Terry Sawchuk was the best. Terry Sawchuk was the best ever, the best they ever saw. They'll say, I saw all the decades up until now, and he was the best they ever saw. Well, I think there's a pretty good chance that they just really liked that era because it was the heart of their era, and it's part of who they are. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that either. What I don't really like seeing is people having these huge arguments like it's a personal offense that one person likes the other. The fact is we have our own personal biases on these issues, and that's cool. It's all part of the game, and it's what personalizes it for us. Well, that's my full 42 today. When I say that, I mean I have 42% to give, and I give my full 42 every day, and I've just given it to you. Have a great day, everybody.